Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is November 26th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. Got the Pacific Northwest up to the upper right here. You can see BC, Washington, Oregon, and you can see the last of this big trough we've been dealing with now. It's just sliding across portions of Oregon and off to the east. So we are going to change things up. We're going to dry out for a little bit here, but we still may have some light precipitation going on. We do have some cold air moving around portions of the Yukon Northwest Territory, some of northern British Columbia and Alberta. It'll be sliding down, maybe triggering a few light showers at times. We'll look at some of that detail. Then we'll take a look at the extended forecast because the models are showing a return to some more active weather coming in. It's still a little ways out, but it is fall here in the Pacific Northwest. And as we get towards meteorological winter, which is December 1st, things aren't going to stay quiet for too long. But taking a look at where we are right now, you can again see some of the showery activity out there, but less coverage than yesterday. We had a lightning strike right down there by I-5, I think just near Federal Way. We'll take a look at that here in a moment also. But you can see we are now starting to dry out, even though we're going to have some clouds to deal with as we go through the day today. Should be getting a little bit of break on that front as well. Now, I selected one of these stations down here, actually a couple of them here near the I-5 corridor, and to see if they pick up that one lone cloud-to-ground lightning strike. And if you can take a look back here, we're going to look right there, and you can see 0 to 2 miles away, 8:03 p.m. on station number 1. On station number 2, this is actually my house off further to the north. You can see 6 to 9 miles away, 8:03 p.m. Exactly, caught that lightning strike, and the next one that I selected was about 1 to 3 miles away, and you can see 8:03 p.m. So very fun weather station. Makes a great Christmas gift. So if you want one of these, I think it might even still be 20% off right now. Go ahead and click on that link down below if you want to save at least 10% on that. Highly recommend that station. Now looking at some storm reports out there. If I click on that one, you can actually see there was an Idaho Transportation Department recorded boulders on US Highway 97 closing one northbound lane. So we will be taking a look at these storm reports as we go, and you can see in southwest extreme Oregon, Train Spotter reported 1.5 inches of precipitation. And I've got the time frame here from yesterday morning towards this morning. So now taking a look at what is going on. This is a high resolution North American model. If I put this into motion, you can see still some lingering showers out there, but for the most part, the heavier precipitation is definitely wrapping up. We're keeping some of the snow showers going maybe across the higher terrain a little bit there, but really some of this is just noise. And as we go on in through about Thursday afternoon, Thanksgiving, you can see things are pretty dry. So from this point on, travel conditions should be pretty nice across most of the pass areas. And getting back on Friday or this weekend doesn't look exceptionally bad as well. And now if we take a look at the 6-hour running snow totals, you'll see that these are clearly on the decline as we go, and then we start to head off in towards Thanksgiving Day. And maybe, again, just some very light snow across some of the higher terrain, maybe mainly northern portions. And now looking at the GFS, so I do want to show you this. This is the 12Z red, and you can see the precipitation in the short term, on the wane. And then as we go on in through Friday morning, you see we do have an Arctic front that is far to the north there, and you can kind of see that pushing some precipitation down. It may kick off a couple light showers, keep some clouds around, but you can see the colder air is definitely going to be further off to the north. We've got some gradients there marking the boundary. That cooler air is going to stay largely east of the Rocky Mountains. And then we scroll up in towards the extended forecast, and you kind of see the return of some of these storm systems getting cranking over the Gulf of Alaska. This is hot off the presses, so this is running right now. We will take a look at some more extended models here in a moment. But I do want to show you this. I like to show these visual diagrams. This is 2-meter temperature in Celsius, and the zero line is right around here where you go from some of the darker blues towards this light white or gray color. So if we scroll on in towards Thursday and Friday, you can kind of see this cooler air up here across Canada. A little bit of that leaks out in advance of this frontal system, and it kind of stays, again, mainly east of the Rockies, but that cold air, you can kind of see it sliding down there as we go on in through this weekend, but mainly staying east of the Rockies here. So that is one of the natural barriers here for Arctic air into the Pacific Northwest. It's got to go through the Rocky Mountains, and it's got to go through the coastal range, the Cascades, and things like that. So we do have some nice built-in protections from that Arctic air. And if we take a look here, this is at 5,000 feet. You can kind of see it a little bit better. And if I scroll on in towards Friday, you'll see there goes some of that cold air. You can see it leaking out off of the South Alaska coast and kind of streams back in. But again, it's not that exceptional of a shot of Arctic air. And again, mainly stays east of the Rockies. You can kind of see how the terrain features help bottle up that Arctic air and keep it further off to the east as we go on into this upcoming weekend. Now, this is holiday week mountain pass travel impact forecast. This is for Friday. Again, this is just light snow accumulations. This should not be high impact. Maybe just use some caution if you do happen to see a little bit of light snow accumulation out there. But yeah, looking pretty good here for travel back and forth for Thanksgiving. This is for Missoula, Montana. You can see a low impact at best here across the region. Should be just light snowfall for the Idaho Panhandle and western Montana. This is Medford, Oregon. And again, we're moving into that dry, stable weather. We could have some fog at times. I guess that's one of the flip sides here for this Thanksgiving travel. And Portland, Oregon does have some dense fog advisories up for the Willamette Valley and some of the coastal areas this morning as well. So now let's take a look at what everybody wants to look at, and that's the extended forecast. So here goes our trough finally getting out of here, and you can kind of see that little bit of shot of Arctic air staying north and east. And then we start to build this ridging as we go through next week. But the Gulf of Alaska trough doesn't waste much time on last night's European artificial intelligence to get rolling again here. Then we got to start to watch for some of these systems trying to bring precipitation back into the region. You can see we get a bit of a short wave there, and then we continue to increase that Gulf of Alaska activity here as we go on into the early portion of December. Now, this is last night's GFS, so we're going to scroll through this. There's that Arctic air kind of sliding down. You can see it's fairly moisture starved, but it does kick up a bit of precipitation, a little bit more on the GFS across BC and some of northern Washington, but again, should be on the light side. And then we scroll on in towards this weekend and next week, and you can see we start to get some storm activity here across the Gulf of Alaska. Looks like maybe a little bit atmospheric river potential through the extended, but that's way out there in the extended forecast. We're not going to get too caught up in these details right now, but it starts throwing stronger storms towards the Pacific Northwest as we go on in through, about December, 10th and 11th there. So we'll just continue to watch that right now. But the models do largely show that switch to some more stormy weather. Now here's the European Arctic front slides by. We go through some dry periods here, and then the European doesn't take much time here. As we go through Wednesday night, it's already bringing the next system into the Pacific Northwest. That's got an atmospheric river look, subtropical tap down there as well off to the southwest, and you can see then maybe some windy periods coming up here. So definitely the European artificial intelligence of last night kicking on the storm train much earlier than what the GFS was. This is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, above normal for the west. Look at that below normal signal starting to emerge here. So we are going to go through at least somewhat of a break here from the precipitation. Here's the 8 to 14 day. Much of the west is above average. And then you can see that below normal creeping in here. But take that with a grain of salt. This could flip quite rapidly if what the European was showing starts to trend a bit more. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day out there. Click like and subscribe. Oh, and I also am working on some of our Arctic outbreaks, some of our best Arctic outbreaks, going over the meteorology behind it and what it takes to get some cold air down to the Pacific Northwest, why it's so hard, but also we're still fairly far up in the northern latitudes here, and we do have some factors at play that can actually help us get snowfall across some of the region here based on terrain features and things like that. We'll go over all those details as I do those individual videos, more of an educational or just kind of a fun look at some of our past winter weather events. So if you want, let me know any kind of events that you want to see in the comments below. I'm pretty up to date on what's occurred in the past year across Pacific Northwest. I mean, there's always a chance somebody could surprise me with some system I don't remember in the past, but generally I'll be going over some of the larger, more extreme events we've had generally since 1950 on, because I can take a better look at that meteorologically speaking. So anyway, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.